So, Aude, we have two things in common. First and foremost is our appreciation of food and the fact that we both have neck tattoos.
Hi, I'm Aude, the Global Chief Marketing Officer at Nestlé, and I'm delighted to be here today with Andrew Rea, the YouTube creator from Binging with Babish.
Hey guys, my name is Andrew Rea. I'm a YouTube creator, and today I'm very excited to be speaking with Aude Gandon.
I am really excited to be having this exchange with Andrew, so we can really learn, what is his formula to be building such a special bond he has with his audience, so I can apply them to Nestlé and to our brands. So Andrew, how did you get introduced to Nestlé, and what is your favorite product?
Nestle might be my earliest food memory. I got two words for you: Toll House. It was definitely the first recipe that my mom taught me was chocolate chip cookies right off the back of the bag. That is one of my earliest and fondest food memories. So Nestle holds a special place in my heart. Aude, as the CMO of Nestle, I'm curious, what is your biggest business challenge? And I know that's kind of a big, crazy question, but what's the first thing that comes to mind?
It's making sure that we actually always have the right product and that they are adapted to the local kind of need. And it's not just the local need in terms of taste, but it's also the local needs, for example, in terms of micronutrients. Something that most people don't know is we adapt our recipes to the different countries depending of what a population lack in terms of nutrients.
As Nestle products are consumed by millions of people a day, where do you see Nestle's place in serving communities?
We work with 650,000 farmers, for example, so we do have also a very special relationship with the people who actually make, the material and the ingredients to actually make the food. When we look at serving communities, what we are really focusing on right now is what is coming up and what is the future. By 2050, there will be 9 billion people on the planet. And so making sure that we actually manage the food system properly, so these 9 billion people can have food which is nutritious and available is very important for us. You serve your community in a very different way. Can you tell me about how it started?
Well, it's kind of an odd answer to that question, which is that I was very depressed. But mental health is an issue that I try to push on my channel as often as I can because it's something that I've struggled with, and I think it's something that we can find answers in through nutrition and through healthy and positive practices. And my positive practice was finding a new creative outlet, making a show, setting up cameras in my kitchen and putting my film degree to good use. And I was lucky enough to find an audience, and it just sort of snowballed, the viewership and the subscribership, and eventually I was able to quit my day job, and now here I am speaking with the CMO of Nestle about it, and it's been a wild 5 years.
So Andrew, with your global reach, what positive effects do you want to have on your community, and how do you want to communicate these goals to them?
My loftiest goal that this channel could have would be to show people that it's okay to make mistakes. I know that is a really lofty goal, but that is what is at the core of what I do. Is that I want people to see mistakes as learning opportunities, not as things to be ashamed of or things to push away, but things to embrace. And so I've tried to show how wonderful YouTube and my audience have made my life, but also not been afraid to share struggles. I have to continue to remind myself to do that. But on a smaller scale, I want to try and encourage people who have never cooked before to try cooking for themselves. That's actually why I have this tattoo of pasta all'olio from the movie Chef, because it is a recipe that contains 7 ingredients, 8 if you include boiling water. And I've been tagged in hundreds, if not thousands, of Instagram posts of people saying, I just tried cooking for the first time. This is so good. I'm going to try making X. I'm going to try making a burger next. And that has been one of the most exciting aspects of making the show for me is that it's actually getting people in the kitchen, actually getting people cooking. So that's been one of the things that's kept me going for these past 5 years. In the discussions around climate change, I've heard a great deal about greenwashing. Can you explain what greenwashing is and how Nestlé is avoiding it?
Yeah, greenwashing, I think, is a problem in our business. Nestlé is a company which is very show then tell. So we're always very discreet. There's a lot of work happening, and we're only happy to go out and to start to talk about this when we know that we've done our work, that we have all the stories, all the numbers, and so on. We always try to use the back of the pack to try to give a bit more information to educate, so consumers can start to also look at the claims and really understand, what exactly does it mean? Like, is it a marketing claim, or is it actually something which is very real? Sometimes we are waiting too much to reach perfection to be able to go out and tell the story. And I think on this subject, we're all learning together because it's a journey, because the transformation is going to take time. And I actually think, listening to you, people are eager to be part of this journey and to learn and to discover at the same time as we do.
It's one thing to market sustainability, it's another thing to truly embody it. So hats off. So in those communities, something that can be difficult to circumvent are traditions and memories, and these can actually be obstacles in the future of nutrition. How, as a company, do you navigate that as you try to help shift the world to more sustainable ideas and practices?
There's a lot of things we do which are really kind of helping and transforming to more kind of sustainable practices that actually consumers don't even see. Now, 73% of the material we source to actually produce the food is sustainably sourced. And we've been really investing in innovation on plant-based products between, brands like Sweet Earth and Gandon Gourmet. And so, it really helps people to start to discover what is kind of plant-based food. Obviously, consumers are very happy as well to continue to eat meat and fish, but they want to start to eat a bit less of it, but keep their consumption habit. You can absolutely now have great plant-based products which don't ask you to make a lot of shift from your eating habits.
There was one thing about managing your consumers' nutrition. If there was one fact that you could convey to them, what would that be about managing one's own nutrition?
I think, there's not really bad food, there's bad diets. And I think sometimes, people struggle because they keep hearing, that they need to cut so many things to be healthy. I think it's all a question of balance, and it's all a question of understanding what the different type of food are going to provide you. Is really something that I would love to be able to make sure that this message come across more and more, and we educate on. At Nestlé, we have to educate on a lot of very kind of different complex kind of subject on nutrition. And you very often also have to kind of explain and break down complexity of recipes, and also like the ingredients and in which order, or how to kind of look after the ingredients and so on, to simplify for your audience. So what is your secret to make it as simple and easy to understand for everybody?
Well, one step at a time. My show, just shows my torso, really. It keeps the focus on the food. And the joke that is not a joke, that it's actually very much a fact, that is, if you turn the camera 30 degrees to the left or the right, you will see the cacophony of things, the absolute mess that is my kitchen. And I try to present things in as clean and as simple and unambiguous a way as I possibly can. But the reality is that, things are a mess, and the kitchen is a mess. There's no perfectly clean kitchen. And I tried to show that as well. I have a new show called Botched by Babish, where the cameras are just rolling on me cooking, and you see the madness that actually occurs in the kitchen. So it's half trying to present things as cleanly and as simply as possible, while also not trying to hide the madness. How
can Nestlé better utilize YouTube to tell our story on how we're taking action on health, nutrition, and sustainability?
Well, one mistake that I think a lot of brands make is they make a video about their sustainability initiatives. They put it up on YouTube. It gets 1,000 views. End of story. I think that maybe your most powerful tool that you could utilize is YouTube creators. We love working with corporate sponsors, not only because, it's an opportunity to make robust, customized ads. And as somebody who was formerly in advertising, that's my bread and butter. Also because it presents an opportunity for you guys to share your messaging more than just pushing new products, instead sharing your ideas and sharing your initiatives using YouTube creators that have a captive audience. They're going to take them at their word, and then you can use that advertising point to your videos, further explaining these new initiatives. I think working with YouTube creators would be a very powerful tool for you guys.
I absolutely agree with you. I think it's something that we need to do a lot more. And listening to you and discussing with you, the power of YouTube creators, I think, is something that we have not tapped into, and we need to.
The difference between YouTube creators and traditional public figures or companies is that I think illustrated is when I walk down the street. If a traditional television actor walks down the street, nobody's gonna really go up and talk to them or bother them. If I walk down the street, people are gonna come up and shake my hand and say, hey, love your show, because they feel a personal connection with me, because everything that my channel is just me. It's just me putting myself out there in my basement, just doing my thing. So they feel a personal connection that we've engendered over the years because they've had a sort of a glimpse into my life. And that's the story with so many YouTube creators, which is why there's this trust in our conversations together. So I do think, I do think that YouTubers and smaller creators would be a very robust tool in Nestlé's advertising tool belt.
Yeah, thank you. Completely agree. And I think it's also right for Nestlé. Our brands are usually people have grown up with our brands. So there's a relationship there, there's a history. And I don't think we nurture enough that kind of personal relationship and this is what you have as a YouTube creator. You have this relationship because you are who you are, and that's why people follow you and subscribe to your channel.
So that was a very enlightening conversation. I learned a lot about Nestlé. The most important thing that I think I learned is that they care about food. I knew that they cared about food because they make food and they sell food, but that they actually care about food and nutrition and about the effect that food has on people and communities. I think that that's a very powerful message, and I hope that they are able to continue to share it to a larger and larger audience.
Wow, I will remember a few things. The first one is, be genuine, stick to your guns, and stay who you are. Don't try to change. Don't try to don't follow some of the pressure. Tell your story as well in a very simple manner. I think the simplicity, is coming so clearly in what Andrew was telling me. The understanding of your community and building this relationship and this exchange, and definitely the power of the YouTube creator that I'm really, really looking forward to continue to be discovering and developing for our brands and our businesses.